Today is a very different video for me. Today I'm going to talk about getting pregnant after 30. Well, actually after 35. Let's just say in your late 30s. I am 38. I will be 39 this year, and I am not pregnant. I'm not pregnant. But I want to talk about this because it's a conversation that has come up in social situations and in personal situations a lot lately. And the reality is, at my age, my prime optimal egg quality years are behind me. And that's not saying that I can't get pregnant. Gosh, some people have gotten pregnant in their 50s. But the reality is that I am now considered a geriatric pregnancy. And the truth is, I'm older. And I'm kind of at the end of my rope. I kind of have to shit or get off the pot, so to speak. And I wanted to talk about this topic, and I wanted to share my views on if I want to have kids, if I don't. And I feel like even if you're younger than me, you could get something out of this video because you may be in the same situation. To have kids or not to have kids? That is the question. It's kind of a sad thing when you get to a certain age and as a woman, your fertility catches up to you and you really get to that high risk stage in your life because of your age where you really truly need to think, is this something that you want? Because if you wait too long, you are minimizing your potential for having children naturally without issue or without IVF. So a little background about me. So from childhood to 19 years old, I was just a kid, and then I was a teenager just having fun and being an idiot. And all I cared about was like being with my friends and hanging out with my boyfriend. I was never that girl who was like, when I have a family, when I have kids. I was never that kind of kid or teenager. Then when I turned 20 years old, I discovered my passion to work in the fashion industry. And from 20 on till present day, now I've just been hyper focused and really content with my career and achieving my goals and working hard and all these incredible experiences. And through 20 years old to now, I met my husband, and he just naturally integrated into my life and supported my dreams and never got in the way of them. So I've just been living my life, and all of a sudden it's like I'm gonna be 39 this year, and it's like, shit, what are we gonna do? So the question is, how do you know if you want to have kids when you currently feel like nothing is missing in your life? I love my life. I love my husband. I love my freedom. I love our Tuesday sushi dates and, having too many cocktails on a weeknight or deciding we want to go here or go there, and all we have to worry about is ourselves. Like, that's freedom. And I also feel like in your late 30s, you're so used to that freedom that it's hard to imagine your life drastically changing. So that is truly the big question. How do you know if you want to have kids if you feel like nothing is missing in your life? And when you're older, like, how do you know? So that's where I'm at. But one thing I do know about the kids situation. Number one, I love kids. Like, I truly love kids. I love their innocence. I think they're so fun and funny. I don't love, little brat kids. Who does? Who loves it? But I do understand it comes with the territory. But I love kids. I'm one of those people who is naturally drawn to children. I love them. I'm a big kid. I can get in on the floor, have fun with them. Like, I love kids. The second thing that I know is I adore my husband. And the thought of having a little mini Lindsay Matt is enough to make me teary-eyed and my heart melt. I can't even imagine. I love and squish and adore my husband so much. I can't imagine having a little person that we made. Oh my God. So that right there, I'm like, gets me sentimental. The third thing, my husband is very nurturing. He is a natural caregiver. He's very attentive to me, and I'm very independent. I don't really need anybody, but he's just so nurturing and loving and just that perfect emotional but masculine. And I just know that us together, we would be the idyllic situation to raise a child. So that's the third thing. The fourth thing is, you know, although they say you're never ready, but I feel like financially we could provide for a child. So we have all these four things that are prerequisites, so to speak, that, you know, is a great foundation to have a child. But then you have this other side where you don't feel like anything's missing and you're a little bit nervous about changing your life and having a kid. Still has me in this quandary. Then there's this massive, massive fear in the middle of all that, is the worry. I worry about my husband, and he was a first responder and a firefighter. I almost lost my husband. He had a near fatal accident last year. And going through that is something that you would never wish on anybody, to think that your loved one might not be with you. It was just very traumatic. And I'm told that you love your husband or your spouse, your significant other, but when you have a kid, you love them a million times over. And I'm nervous of being able to handle that love, like that worry, and letting your heart go out the door, and then when they go through the asshole teenage years and they don't think, you know, they think you're terrible, which I was a terrible kid, so I worry about that. So as you guys can see, there's just like a zillion things out of fear. There's a lot of love, and then there's a lot of fear, and the clock's a-ticking, and I have to decide now. And I don't know, can you guys relate to these worries? Are any of you in this situation? I would really encourage you. I want to hear, so please leave me your comments. So the big decision, what have Matt and I decided? Weighing out all these things, I was told a few months ago that when thinking about having children, if you think there would be any little bit of regret if you didn't have them, you should have them. And when I'm 60 years old and it's just Matt and I feel like it kind of makes me sad a little that I would have closed that window where I no longer can have my own children. So because of that, I'm pretty certain we're gonna be trying. See, my apprehension, I'm still like, it's so weird, and I don't wanna eat my words. I don't want to, who knows, in a year from now, I'd be like, baby fever, I need them now, and I don't know if I've waited too long, and like all those fears, but you can't live in fear. You just have to go with how you're feeling. So, but how Matt and I have made our decision is we do both agree that we feel that if we didn't have children when we get older, would we have even the tiniest bit of regret? And we have both agreed that yes, we would. So we are going to have children. It's like hard to even say, it's so crazy. So I think that's where we're at. And that was advice that someone told me, which really helped us make our decision. If we could answer that question and say, no, we would feel fine, you know, if we didn't have kids and we were in our 50s, 60s, 70s, like we would for sure have no regret. Then, you know, but we don't feel like that. At least we can say that. So that really helped us make our decision. So there you go. This was just a venting video because I really wanted to let you guys in on this quandary. Also, I have to say there's one issue that I have. People feel very compelled when you talk to them when you're later in your fertility years that they feel that they need to tell you to try now or else you'll regret it if you can't have children. I just feel like that's really inappropriate. Everyone is on their own journey, and while I do appreciate people giving me their heartfelt advice, I feel like I know what my risk is. I know I've waited 38, I'm a smart woman. I know what the risks are and what I'm up against. So I don't need people saying like, well, you know, if you wait and it may take longer than you think. Like, I know that. So that's just a sidebar. But right now, I'd love to hear your guys' stories, your success stories. Maybe you're in the same position as me. I don't know. I just wanted to talk about this because it's just been like, the time is now. I can't wait any longer. We gotta decide, and I'm just curious to see if any of you guys are in the same position. So please leave me your comments. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next week. Who knows, I might be pregnant. Just kidding. Bye, everyone.